Okay. We're recording.
Okay,
Let her rip.
let's go. Okay. Welcome to tonight's Board of Appeals hearing and meeting. I'm Linda Morehouse and I'm the chairman for tonight. Singer is one of our members. Jesse Hallett, Carol Jogi, and of course, you know, Joe and Seth Seeley is our secretary. How would you two like to come up here? And I have a few questions. Well, we probably all have a few questions for you. You are Mr. and Mrs. Crowell?
Correct.
Did I say that right? Crowell?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're on West Willow, huh?
We are in West Willow, yes.
Are you, how far down from,
From Pete Grant?
thank you.
We
Yes,
are 2 houses down.
so you're to the north.
We are to the north 2 houses.
Okay, okay.
And we actually do have signatures from Pete with this packet.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah, we have some three-dimensional renderings that we try to do to make it a little bit quicker, so.
And there's some signatures from the neighbors that I didn't include in the packet yet, so.
Okay, okay, thank you.
that's where Pete comes in. I said, Pete, is it gonna help us or is it gonna hurt us? But,
No, they just had some fun down there too.
yeah. Very good.
He's heard a little bit about us.
Okay,
So in the packet I just handed out, that is obviously the 3D rendering that you might have already got. From Joe. The letters. Of support,
okay,
and then the encore, a more accurate diagram.
okay,
Yes, and I will just, not to interrupt, but I'll attest to her numbers because she was out doing accurate measurements. Mine were just clicks from Encore and she was out measuring with tape measure and then
okay.
showing it at Encore. So
So.
my numbers are a little bit off compared to hers.
You have started this deck or?
Well.
it-
Well, have we started it? Have we started this deck? No, we originally started with another deck before we realized all the codes.
Okay,
So we originally were gonna go across the entire back of the house. Upper deck 28 feet and come out 12.
okay, now we're talking up the back of the house. Is that the lakeside?
Lakeside, yeah. We're-
Lakeside,
We're
thank
still,
you.
we're still.
I'm still gonna do that,
You're getting
yes.
to the lake.
Okay,
So the front of the house, we're gonna go across the whole. 28 feet across the whole front of the house. And it was gonna come out 12 feet.
okay,
So our contractor had come one day and said, okay, we're all set. Put in the post, and luckily or unluckily, the next day we got the call from Joe. Saying the permit was denied. Luckily, it was early in the morning. So
Okay.
day 2 of the construction got halted.
We stopped working.
We stopped working at that point.
okay, so. What are we dealing with? Why did we have to stop the? construction?
So Rich and I were on vacation and I think Terry Matthews came in to drop a permit off. He put it in the Dropbox while I was not here, and then it was on a Thursday that we were gone.
Okay, wait. You don't. All I need to know is what the law,
what the variance is.
yeah,
Oh,
what the variance was, dear. I don't need to
what the
know.
variance was, or
Why the permit was denied. I changed
Why, okay,
Okay.
why are we, why
thought you
was
were
it denied?
asking
That's all.
something.
That's, I don't need
The fair-
anything else.
Originally, I denied the permit because of the average distance between the adjacent houses.
Okay,
So there, I took, like I said, a broad measurement on Encore and realized that they were as far out as they could be according to the law.
okay. They were not beyond that.
No, they're not beyond it, but they're
Okay.
the corner,
In truth, I'm
The
gonna be in
original.
truth.
right, but they're about what, 4 feet? You still have 4 more.
Yeah,
feet.
so we have an addition that's been on the house for a couple of decades. And I don't know if the building codes are newer than that. I'm assuming with the whole setback,
Yes,
but we're currently at 54 setback.
and they should be at 50. right?
well, 54 and the average is 59.
Okay,
So we are creeped. A little bit ahead of it already.
But that's grandfathered in, isn't
It
it?
must be,
yes,
okay.
yes.
So
Yeah,
that's,
that's
so,
pretty-
okay, so when the average is 59, if we're grandfathered in because the structure's been there,
Correct.
does that mean 54? That's where the starting point is, that's the setback, according to the law?
Yes,
Okay, all right. That helps us.
well, it's not a specific number, it's actually, that you have to take the average. The law's kind of vague because it is older.
Okay,
But it was put in place because of the base.
Okay,
so
so,
our setback is currently 54.
all right, yours is currently 54, the law says 59,
Correct,
so we're looking at 5 feet here.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's why I originally denied it, and then I had a meeting with Ed, because Ed, who was the chair.
yes,
He had mentioned the lot coverage,
correct.
so him and I figured it out. Using Encore and, give or take a few square feet, they're 30% lot coverage, which I didn't explain to them until
I just
before the
found
meeting
out, so I
started.
don't-
Okay, and it's, the law says how much coverage?
30% is the max for Honeyway Lakeshore District,
And they're at
They're already
30%,
yes,
Without the deck.
without,
without the deck, correct.
okay,
Yeah, we didn't know
We
until.
just found this
tonight.
out.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So if it's not,
That's-
it's not part of the variance we're asking for, but.
well, it
Well, yeah,
wasn't.
it's gonna have to
originally
be
It wasn't
part of it.
initially,
it's gonna have-
Yeah.
but it's gonna have to be
Yeah.
to move forward at this point, yes.
Okay.
Can you sign in?
So we're looking at
Thank you.
all right, one variance for,
The lake setback, front setback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Variance for lot coverage.
okay,
And that's it. Originally, the permit was also denied with a setback on one of our neighbors, but we've since adjusted the design to be within that
The
acceptable
original
range.
That's
building
correct.
footprint.
Yes.
Yeah, we're now with the design we're hoping for, 10 on one side and 11 on the other, so we're within the law.
okay, I'm a little confused right now.
That's okay.
If we have not, okay.
The design they're looking for is not going out any wider than the house.
Okay.
Right, yes,
okay.
correct.
Originally it was.
Originally it was.
So now it's only going with the house. So all we gotta do is the front setback of the additional 5 feet and
Okay.
lot coverage exceeding 30%.
Okay,
Correct.
so, all right, okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I just,
Huh?
sorry, I came in late.
That's okay.
You can put your chair.
You can smile up with them.
If there's anything I can help with. I'm the contractor on the. stuff, guys.
How about the law?
I'm just here for support, and if there's any questions I can answer.
No, I'm just trying to get myself acclimated here to see exactly what it is that we need to decide on and how much of a
What's the lot coverage?
variance we're looking for. We've got the same.
I'll be honest with you, I would have come prepared. But
That was one thing we did.
I mean, I can tell you the area is probably somewhere in the upper 200s. I don't know what that means as far as
What's the
percentage.
Square footage.
dimensions, what's the dimensions of the top of the deck gonna be?
So the interesting part about the top of the deck is it's not a square, because there is an easement, it's kind of funny shape. So.
Okay,
If you, yeah,
There's an easement, for the sewer easement, which I
I see it.
otherwise it would be an easy calculation for me.
Okay,
So it's like a.
It's gonna come out about 9 to 10 feet. But then it's gonna like have a diagonal back towards the house to accommodate the easement, so I wish I could say it was a square.
Square foot's a lot?
So they can have 2,662.38 is the max they can have with their lot. That's square foot.
right,
662?
Yep.
2,662.38.
and now we've got 2809.4, correct?
Yes, and right now, I went back through and did a more accurate calculation because Ed was just going off of the Encore, what the assessor had for the
Okay.
measurements of your house, which was actually a lot more than what you actually have. And then I went through and did measurements on Encore, and it was smaller, so it was, well, smaller than what we had originally figured, but right now it's 2809.4.
Okay. So we're looking, now according to this, we've got 4 variances, but now that has been changed. We're only going to have 2.
2.
Yes,
Okay, one is for the distance to the lake,
yep.
and the other one is for lot coverage.
Correct.
Okay.
Lot coverage is around 100.
Sometimes
Oh,
the
the top
laws
deck?
are.
I,
What happened to the
Period.
sewer easement? Is one
They-
of them.
And that's actually.
Yeah,
because of the
It does run on
They had how many-
So I did like
they did
a
the side.
average.
Okay, so they
the
re-
side-
The
that
mass
side
sewer
makes
easement.
sense.
Okay,
I guess the one question I have now is you said top deck.
Mhm.
All right, so what's the bottom deck?
That one I can tell you,
yeah, that's
14, that goes across the front of the house, 14, it comes out 12.
And it's
So-
already existing?
No,
that's gonna be a plan.
that would be a
It's-
platform, that's what we're asking. for.
That grade pretty much, it's 18 inches off the ground.
Go ahead and tell them why with the neighbor.
Oh, so originally when I spoken earlier, I said originally we were gonna have all across the front of the house, all upper deck. But when we found out about the codes that we were breaking, we spoke to both of our neighbors. The
the
one on the,
immediate neighbors?
Huh?
The immediate neighbors.
the immediate neighbors, yep. So, and then the immediate neighbor on our north side, he doesn't have a problem with anything we're gonna do.
But that's still lot coverage.
Yes, the lower deck is.
Yeah.
160.
Yes,
It's
yes,
still lot
Lot
coverage.
yes,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
So, so he didn't have any problem.
The
When
one
we spoke to
that's
the other
lower
neighbor
deck
on the
that
south
they're
side,
proposing.
When you look down, you see.
we
Well, yeah,
compromised
it's
with him.
basically on the ground. what you
And
want,
we
you know what I
said
mean?
that the part of the deck that he could see from his house, and that's why I do have some pictures from his house, because he allowed me to take pictures so he could
Mhm.
see. We agreed that we would go and have a platform deck on his side.
Okay,
So, and he was happy with that, so it wouldn't obstruct his view at
And
all.
is he one of the people that you provided?
No,
I'm gonna have
I had a conversation with him, I.
Showed him this.
Showed him the pictures and he said he was that he was okay with that. And then, we talked about signing it and he didn't say, he didn't refuse to sign it. But he also didn't sign anything and he wished us luck with what we're doing, but whatever reason.
so this is,
I don't think he wanted to be part of the variance, but he was but he did express that he was happy with
He was
It's
happy
not-
with.
he's the neighbor immediately to your south.
Correct.
on the south, yeah.
Okay. Now, is this full-time? Or is this a cottage for you?
This is,
Your permanent address now?
well, we just moved there. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we're trying to do half and half. We just moved in June 1st.
We've been,
So,
well.
Kids are out of the house.
We've been heavier here than there.
We've been heavier here in the past 3 months. What it'll be like in a year, I don't know.
Okay, but
So-
this is not.
This
you
is
don't
not my
plan
primary,
on-
this is not my primary residence.
Exact, okay,
At the moment.
okay. Now, I know there was one question that I had here. We have west facing front lake house. This one.
Yep.
Is this? If I'm standing here, I'm looking west,
You're
or
looking
is this
west,
a lake?
Yeah,
This is south.
yeah, if
And
you're,
wait, no, this is south.
if you're standing here.
If I'm standing right here, I'm looking.
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
So if I turn around,
You're looking.
I'm looking at the lake.
like, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're.
I thought, sometimes I'm not real good with
Well,
directions and I
I'll be
thought,
honest, we've been trying to wrap our heads around some of this stuff too.
and I didn't think. On West Willow there, which I did find out that I was right,
He gave it all.
there was any of these
Yeah,
Like,
nice terraces like this on that side.
yeah.
Okay, okay, good.
I just, you know, kind of give you.
All right,
Okay, so let me,
It works, that
is this
it's
the
more
view
important.
from?
This is
It'll
the
be more
neighbor,
important if
neighbor
it gets
that-
approved.
They
Right.
should more
And
concerned.
yes, and do you see this post right here?
Yeah, yeah.
And
This
this,
tall one right there?
yeah,
This is the general area of where the other deck will be. So do you
okay.
see it's kind of out of his sight, even if you put railings? Yeah. And
And this is not gonna be there anymore.
that will
because
not,
you're
that
going
will be the
floating deck.
platform deck. That would be the platform deck,
Okay,
right?
and then this view is,
On that lower deck, right?
Right.
That is
30 inches.
all the, yeah, so this is the entire south neighbor.
Right.
okay.
So
gotcha.
that's So yeah, so he let me come in, this is from the ground,
Mhm,
so the platform deck would be here, and then the
Yeah.
upper deck would be these 3 windows right there.
right. Okay,
So,
Thank you.
yeah, so the far 3 windows would be the other deck.
okay.
That's what, well, that's
Yes, I
worth
already know
mentioning
that
too,
it
that
was
the
a-
lower deck, you're not putting a railing on, correct?
I will not put him, no,
Cause
it's-
it's under 30 inches
that was on purpose,
from grade. So they don't have to put a railing there.
right?
Okay.
Well, on the lot variance, lot coverage, we're looking at about a 5.86%.
Less than. Less than 6%. Okay.
And like I said, with those square footages, those were high on both of those, so. Just to, you know what I mean, cover us again.
How much will be left? What is in your application? That was one reason, is to be able to have more access.
Right, so we'll have, we do have lawn. You mind if I show you with this picture, for picture? Oh, you have one.
Yeah.
So this is all lawn right here. And then probably the deck. Will come out like the 12 feet here, so then like that to that. So probably about a little more than a third,
Mhm.
will be the deck, and then probably the other 2/3 or so would be grass. I haven't done an
This is
accurate,
not lawn, this is lawn
that's
here.
the,
That's the wall.
that's the wall, yeah.
Right,
that's the
We
wall.
we currently have.
So
Can we
it's
just all do
just
one at
giving
a
you
time
access
so that
to
That-
she's able to do minutes?
Oh, yeah, and then there's, I don't know if you care.
That's
about
okay,
that, but then
it
there's
just,
lawn-
it was
lawn
good for
here.
her to be able to do
There's
minutes and the
outside.
recording, they'll go crazy. Okay.
Blurbs. That part, what we have right now in our backyard too, we do have pavers, and part of our lawn.
That's all coming out.
And we have pea gravel too, which is gonna cover part of that distance, so it's not, we don't have lawn right up to our house.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how much we're really losing.
That's a good
lawn-wise,
point
you know.
too, yeah.
It's, you know, I would say maybe half of that would be pavers and pea gravel. So that would just be replaced by, but
That's true.
It doesn't have any effect on anything, is it?
No.
No. The less grass to cut, the better.
in some ways.
I know what I was thinking, but I didn't realize, yeah.
As we look, that was one thing
That
that
was-
I would kind of like, is a little bit less maintenance. but not so bad. So,
Okay, so,
Karen, you had a question?
I just had not a question, I guess, not a discrepancy, but just, the high water mark that is, you know, that all these variances are being determined off of. That is almost 4 feet inside of their break wall. And that's one thing that I would like to, bring notice and kind of be evaluated, because that high water mark in their terms, because it connected this dot and this dot, goes right through something that they have paid for, well, that property has paid for years. I don't know if that makes any sense, the way I'm bringing it up, but
If you look, I mean,
That
if
was
you
my-
see it, if you
Okay.
see it, if you look on the Encore map, you'll see what he's
Cuts
talking
off.
about
Yeah,
in
cuts
the
off.
water beyond the yellow line.
of-
Yeah,
of
so if you
their,
take a look right
Yeah,
here.
I've got it.
So
that's
that,
what
that outward arch is your break wall?
yeah,
Yeah,
When I measured off the lake, when I originally put in the building permit to Joe, we were 52 feet off of that break wall. I mean, and Joe did bring up to me where I measured, it does, the lake does slope and the property slopes, so I should have measured off the short point of the property. But, I don't know, they're losing a lot of their property that technically they paid for with that high marker.
Well, they're not the only ones.
Right, which I understand, I just wanted to bring that to attention.
They,
right,
to be honest with you, they do change it. I think it's every 3 years.
And they
And
do it once every year.
well, it's once every year for the DEC, but then after 3 years, they take the average and then they'll keep that average for 3 years.
Oh,
See what I
and
mean?
that's what you're determining.
Well, yes, that's what the county
Encore does.
Encore, yeah.
takes the average
Yeah.
of the 3.
That was just one thing I wanted to bring up that.
well, that's one of the things of buying on water.
Right.
You know, you can never be sure where that is, and but thank you.
yeah.
My
Fortunately,
name's Terry, by the way, I'm sorry.
Oh, hi Terry, I'm Linda.
fortunately with the weir, it's stayed a little bit more consistent than did,
Digging it out, that's how.
you know,
Yeah.
in the past, but
Well, you know, with the way our weather is,
I
you
know
know, you
it's-
could have,
yeah.
lose it and then get it all back. Okay, so essentially now we're looking, what's the lake setback? We looking at, how much,
That
what's
that
the
we're
feet?
requesting,
Yes,
we're requesting 42,
okay.
because the deck would come out, the lower deck would come out 12 feet.
All right, and we have, what is it?
It's currently 54.
Okay.
And I just want to add, I mean, you know, my husband and I were willing to make any adjustments. Anything, because unfortunately, you know, we've already purchased materials, which is 100% our fault, but at this point, we're just trying to make as little a loss as possible.
Well, I give you a lot of credit for stopping when you did, because some
Yeah.
folks would have just continued.
If I
Yeah.
speak up on their behalf in that aspect,
Please,
you guys were in your, there was a little 2-week period where people were hit and miss here. and
okay,
That was when I was putting in the building permit.
okay,
So a lot of them buying the materials and me going forward was because there was miscommunication.
all right,
Which, I stopped up here, I had the building permit already in, Joe was, he had, I don't, whatever. Personal problems or whatever, or issues, he wasn't here that like week and a half or whatever.
sure,
And the town clerk, I stopped up here at 9 o'clock in the morning before I dug. And she said, oh, it's into Joe, you should be good to go ahead and dig, take pictures. And maybe if she knew a little bit more information, she had the building permit, she does a lot of work, or we do a lot of work through this office, we do a lot of work in this county, I live right down the road. My company's name is Canada's Valley Construction.
yeah.
Okay, so
Said that.
we, all our work is in this
Sure.
area. So I pushed forward to keep customer happy and to try to, you know, I have a schedule to keep as well, you know,
Mhm.
and so that was why we started. And as soon as we got the notification that there was issues, we stopped.
Okay,
So that isn't on them, that's kind of on me.
Well, you guys stopped and you adjusted.
exactly.
That is huge.
Yes, believe me.
I will tell you, this is version probably number 5.
And I've drawn this deck 3 times. And this time you kind of just got notes on a drawing that was already there, but that was because you know.
Started drawing?
Yeah,
Didn't you just do a deck for a lady across West Lake Road?
probably.
Sweet Pea? Was it on Sweet Pea? It was quite a big deck.
Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah, yeah, we did, we've done,
Seablums.
Seablum,
we've also done a lot in West Willow, right, their neighbors, we've done.
yeah,
And I know it's a high kind of, because you guys have had variances in that part.
We're talking.
Yeah.
I actually did Walt's fence and I built, Mr. Grant's checks and everything there.
Okay.
So I've kind of going through the West Willow thing, so I'm trying to help everybody out and make sure everything goes smoothly.
all right, well, good, and I'm glad that when you did notice that there was a problem, you stopped.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess a lot
And
of people
adjusted.
don't, and can be a real nightmare.
Tell me about it.
Okay. She should know, yeah.
I got a neighbor that's.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we had the discussions with the neighbors. You know, I want to be nice with everybody. Like, I don't want to cause anybody problems, the town, my neighbors. I mean, the bottom line is, you know, like I said, we started off with a bigger deck. And it's now this little thing up top, because my husband and I, we just want to walk out.
Chris
just
just wants
said-
to be able to grill.
Sit there and have your coffee in the morning.
I mean, at this point, it's like, you know, can we fit like a, you know, a bistro table? Okay, great. So, but
Well,
Yeah.
I think you've done a good job, and again, I appreciate the fact that you stopped when the time was specified. And, you know, here we are. My one other question, Joe, or no, wait a minute, Jesse, you said the coverage, we're like 5%.
Just under 6%.
just under 6%.
6%.
So our variances are about a 6% lot coverage and 8 foot on the lakeside setback, is that correct?
Well,
I got 12.
they're at 54 and then we're
54
going
to
to 42.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, do we have, any of the members have any other questions for these folks? This is a little.
Confusing.
tried
Fair
really hard. I gotta tell you,
Oh,
like,
you think
I
you're
learned,
confused now? Wait till you hear what we gotta go through now.
I tried really hard, and I know like the more I'm giving you, the more confusing it probably gets.
No,
I'm like, I
no,
wanted to have everything.
No,
believe me,
Thank you.
the more information we can get and the fact that you. Are willing to sit and talk with us and explain it and then have your builder here too, you know,
Right.
that's again.
Yeah, and I wanna point out, I pointed out to Joe, just because I have no idea, like my 3D rendering is really just for a visual of the bottom and the top. Like, I have no idea what Terry will do with the posts in the ground.
Yeah,
That the deck designer just did that for me. I typed in the measurements and then that
Sure.
just did it.
We're only
So-
worried about the very outside dimensions.
right,
Okay,
right,
okay.
so we've just got these two
All right,
items that, two variances.
okay.
Now, what we have to do here, and again, it's confusing, we have to vote that your application is acceptable,
Okay,
okay? After that is completed, and I'm sure, with all the information we've got here, that won't be a problem. The second thing is we vote for the variance. So if you,
okay.
Steph will call our names and we'll say, you know, what we feel and, it's just lengthy. So if nobody has any
Just
questions,
to do each
I'll-
variant separately.
That's what-
yeah, I'll entertain a motion to, deem the application complete.
Moved. I'll move that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, do you want to do both variances at once?
I think,
Can we go ahead and do that? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
well,
fine with me.
might
Maybe
as
we can
well.
do one without the other, right?
Actually.
I don't even read the.
Okay, so the first variance will be the lake setback and the second variance, the coverage,
Correct.
all right? Okay, Carol,
Now we will vote for the variance.
And this is the setback. Okay, going to 42, right?
Right, from 54 to 42. So we're talking 12 feet there,
do you want Linda to go
and then
first?
less than
Do you want
6%.
Linda to go first. Linda, you go first.
Oh, okay. All right, we have to consider 5 items, all right? The Board of Appeals considers whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. Possible, but I think you did your homework, so I don't see any problem there. An undesirable change in the neighborhood character or to nearby properties, not at all. Whether the request is substantial, it may be a little bit on the setback, but it certainly isn't on the coverage, I don't feel. Whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects, I don't believe that. And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created, yes, whenever we do something that does not adhere to our laws, yeah, it's self-created. But I don't believe that, that's a problem, so I am in favor of both variances.
Hey, Carol,
Same. Board shall consider whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible. I think in some ways you've made some of the adjustments in the first place, especially against your original design. Undesirable change in the neighborhood, it seems to support the change and it looks like it's a nice design that should complement the neighborhood. Request is substantial, it's a substantial request, although you've gained the support of neighbors. Whether request will have adverse physical or environmental impacts, does not seem so. And difficulty is self-created, however, again, you've addressed both some design changes and also approached your neighbors, so within that self-created, you've done some output. And I'm in support of the variance.
Jesse,
Whether benefit can be achieved by other means feasible, I believe that we found the other means, the various irrigations of the deck. Undesirable change in neighborhood character or to nearby properties, I don't believe so, it kind of goes in with everything going on down there. Whether request is substantial, the lot coverage is not substantial request, 12-foot setback. It's kind of substantial, but there's really no other place to put a deck. And you do have the increased distance on the break wall in your favor. Whether request will have adverse physical or environmental effects, no, that will not. And whether alleged difficulty is self-created, yes, they're self-created. I already consider that one. I vote for variance.
Chris,
Whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible to the applicant. Like, agree with everybody else, both on the deck, make definite adjustments with that, which also affects the lot coverage. So I think the other feasible means have been created, have been accomplished. Undesirable change in the neighborhood character of nearby properties, no, it's actually conforming, and I'll have to add West and some of the properties down there at one point in time were pretty questionable, and everybody's been coming down there and bringing them up, so it's pleasing as to what's been happening down there, and how people are taking care of the property down there now. So, there's no undesirable change there, whether the request is substantial. The setback from the lake area is, however, because of that buffer with high water mark and low water. The lot coverage is not substantial. Or environmental effect, no, absolutely not. And whether it's difficulty is self-created, we do any construction, it's self-created. I don't know why the state puts that in there, but but they do, so I approve both variances.
Okay. Both of your variances are approved. You will be getting a letter from us probably within a week or so.
Okay.
And go to it.
Thank you very much, we really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I appreciate it again. I appreciate your feedback. And
The materials are cheap enough, like, it is what it is at the end of the day, right?
She's very thorough.
It does look like a nice region.
Yeah, I do think, I do, it's gonna,
You know,
the
if
same.
you've gone through 5
I had to go,
iterations.
I had to
hopefully
go
your
through my
fifth
morning
one is-
period. I mean, I went through my morning period and now I'm like at the end of the day, like if I can use the materials that I already bought and I can walk out
right.
onto a deck and just sit,
Right, well, I
then
appreciate
that's the
it.
most important
I
part.
bought the house, one of the things, what she said was.
Need a deck.
I mean, lesson learned, right? I mean,
Well, that's,
every town is different, like.
No,
now,
I am.
but
Here,
you have a
I
dock
have
in
the
front of
original
your
one.
place, or
If you
are
want to
you
use this, I'll
down
just
farther?
read it.
with that?
There are,
That's
Deck
good.
on the dock?
there are four, so from our neighbors.
So really, you just
right
need this
there,
page,
right,
us. So I can do it on blank sheet,
They're gonna
and can I just email you?
Yeah.
With,
And then.
Yeah,
us
yes,
and
just
our
setbacks and
neighbors
everything else.
with-
Is that
so,
right?
you know,
Yep,
well, I think
same thing,
too,
just draw it here,
the
what's
house
the
is here,
setbacks
so
look better.
The
And then
folks
and then you
that
can
they-
give me
They have
the
docs,
details
everything
for
else
the
is
actual
all
shared.
shared.
Right, kind of what I put on
Well,
that.
you had to go
Yes.
down there
Oh,
January,
oh, yeah.
and it was very
Yep.
interesting. One of our other members and I drove down there and I thought,
Yeah, no problem.
where do they put their vehicles?
It's tight down there.
It's like, we've had dumpsters in our driveway for, we had a roof put on.
Ah,
And, you know, we just put cleaning stuff up, and so we've had dumpsters in our driveway, for the part of it, it's like when the dumpsters in the driveway, it's like.
No place to-
And unused materials that's been covered for a little bit. So now, you know, it'll be awesome to have the entire driveway back. Cause you can fit 5 to 6
It's kind of
cars, I
things you
mean,
don't understand are important until they're not there.
they're not there.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
thank you.
Well,
all
Thank you,
very
thank you,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Good luck.
I graduated, so that way.
Terry, come here.
Yes, ma'am.
You shook hands with everybody else.
you.
Nice to meet you again.
Yep,
Have a good night.
Thanks.
appreciate you coming in.
Yeah. Bye, Rich.
Watch the deer going down there,
Oh
they're
my God,
running around.
yeah, Crescent Hill was terrible coming up.
Ugh,
Let's see, you need notes.
I
right?
play with them coming out of my driveway.
You need to keep notes.
I
of
often
any
wonder
illegal
what my
activity.
insurance company would say if I said
No, I don't think
I
they-
hit a
Well,
deer
I
in my
could
driveway.
rip this out anyway, because I-
Will you cover me?
That happens, you wouldn't be the first.
Ugh, I guess. Okay, we have before us the budget worksheet. Oh, wait a minute, we should be all set right
No,
now.
we gotta approve minutes from the
Oh,
last
the
meeting.
meeting, yeah, the minutes from the
Then we
last
can,
meeting,
then I can shut us off.
and then we'll do the budget.
I was absent.
Pardon me?
I was absent. I have no comment.
Oh,
Abstaining.
I don't know.
And there should be a resignation from Diane too.
a resignation from her?
Oh.
The
Town clerk.
Town board.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
town,
she just-
she turns it into the town clerk.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she resigned from the board plus the assessment review. board. Condition of the field rep, so what's my first thing? That was-
Jesse, what was the finish measurement?
42 feet.
Was it 42?
The setback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the
Yes.
lake.
From the lake,
42.
yes, 42,
Yes,
from the lake boundary,
Yes.
not the actual lake.
Yeah.
well, it
which-
depends what day it is.
Well, that's true, from the high water mark.
High water mark.
Yeah,
It is big.
speaking of high water, I just caught a couple of minutes of it tonight on the news. Libya has lost between 10 and 20,000 people. 2 of their dams let go, and then they had 16 inches of water, which made the dams blow.
Right,
16 inches of rain.
16 inches of rain, but 20,000 people.
I didn't hear that. I know they
16
confirmed
inches
like
of rain.
5.
We have 3 inches of rain, like the gullies wash out.
I know,
And then one.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. like,
Yeah.
wow,
I just couldn't.
well, they're up over 2 or 3,000 in that earthquake in Morocco.
I know it. But did you look at some of the houses
Well,
they
yeah,
lived in?
they're just made out of dirt.
Holy crow, I can't imagine that there was only that few.
Yeah,
Know the size of the deck, so we figured out the measurements,
No,
or the square footage.
yes.
The square footage. So it's gonna be 12 by, I don't wanna remember what
you
I
said one was 115 square foot, forgot what Cynthia, this lower deck was.
This is the upper deck. This is the upper deck.
Yeah, so the bird's eye on the decks together is 168 square foot. I don't have the dimension.
I know it's 12 by. Yeah, it's 12 by 8. And the lower deck is 2 by. Sorry, 11.
By the angle.
Jesse,
11
who
by
moved
the
into
upper
the
deck.
schoolhouse?
I don't know.
You can see the stuff there.
You see all the U-Haul boxes? It's hilarious. Where did it go?
I thought, that's not all gonna fit in that
I don't know.
schoolhouse.
I've never met her. She's from Maryland
Ah, okay.
and,
I drove by there and there was a big stand in front there, okay, and then they had all those U-Haul boxes.
you see the water tank in the driveway? Her home inspector burned up the well. And apparently her situation is that water,
Oh my,
it's just a shallow, it's a hand dug well. It's a shallow well pump with 2
Oh.
lines and a suction valve. And it was the schoolhouse.
the schoolhouse.
And the well plugs in, it's not even hardwired. It's $150 a 2-minute,
Oh dear.
just 2 hose clamps. Her situation to her solution with bringing that water tank, I assume,
Oh my
the
God.
well burn up. So,
Well, I don't know. I
Yeah, 'cause the
haven't
pump's right in that back room. It's right there on the floor. It's not even a submersible pump or anything. I was like, it's all right there, yeah.
And I believe this. Her home is really special, so he wanted to do a test on septic, so we put dye in it. And then he wanted to run 500 gallons through it, so he left the well run, and it took 20 minutes to fill it, which I'm surprised.
I
it
get
took that long. Usually we only get about 10 and we shut it off.
Oh,
And then he just let the pump cook. Got so hot it took 10 off. Just let it run dry and cook. And then our realtor called up when we still owned it, like, hey, I just got a call from their realtor, the well's dead, go down. Like, what are you doing? Really? You thought you could get 500 gallons out of what's advertised? It's 16 foot, 100 well. Really?
Was he from the city?
yeah.
He goes, well, that's what we do for the standard septic tank. It's like, really? This year? You run 500 gallons of water through there, you're gonna poison the neighbor's horse.
Oh. That's too bad. She's not there yet, though, I don't think.
There's a color there sometime.
Oh, I've been down, just passed there twice, and the one time I noticed that all the boxes were gone.
Yeah.
I said to my
I
husband,
swing by every morning.
if she gets flowers and all that stuff in that house, there's not gonna be room for her.
I don't know, I find it. Not my problem anymore.
Let me make a motion on the minutes.
Yes. Make a motion that the
Approve
minutes
the
be
minutes.
accepted.
Yep.
All in favor?
I
Who made the motion?
did.
Chris did.
Thank you.
Opposed? Okay,
You want to adjourn the meeting?
Huh?
Want to adjourn the meeting or do you want to talk
well,
about
we
the
should
budget?
do the zoning, should we get the budget done?
We can do the budget done, but it doesn't have to be in the,
Okay, good, yes, well, let's,
Jesse made a motion to adjourn.
okay, yeah, second, please,
Yes.
Aye.
Second.
all in favor?
Yep.
Okay, we're adjourned. 8:10. All righty.